We want to go to New York, where something equally surprising is happening. Something surprising in a good way. So New York is an overwhelmingly Democratic state. No Republican is going to get elected governor of New York, obviously. But this year, a Republican looks like he may be elected governor of New York. Congressman Lee Zeldin is running against Kathy Hochul. She is currently the governor of New York. She's never been elected. She was appointed after they threw the old guy out for some kind of sex crime that no one ever really explained. Hochul has done a lot to make the state even worse, particularly New York City, which is now dirtier and more dangerous than a lot of third world cities, much dirtier and much more dangerous. This year in New York City, robberies are up 34%, felony assaults are up 14%, grand larceny 40%, motor vehicle theft 36%. Murders in the subway system are as high as they've been in a quarter century. So that's the population center of the state that Kathy Hochul runs. Now, before you say, well, maybe she's not responsible for all this, of course she's not responsible for all of it, but she's responsible for the change that made the worst crimes possible, and that would be New York's so-called bail reform law. That law lets criminals out on the street immediately, and Kathy Hochul supports it. Why does she support that? We're not sure, because she will not debate Lee Zeldin. So what is she spending her time doing? Improving New York? Cleaning up the Calcutta-like encampments in Midtown? Actually, they're far worse than anything in Calcutta right now. No, she's not doing anything to make the state better. Instead, she's dividing it and attacking people who are, quote, unvaccinated. Watch this.
I wear my vaccinated necklace all the time to say I'm vaccinated. All of you. Yes, I know you're vaccinated. You're the smart ones, but you know there's people out there who aren't listening to God and what God wants. You know this. You know who they are. I need you to be my apostles. I need you to go out and talk about it and say, we owe this to each other. We love each other. Jesus taught us to love one another. And how do you show that love? But to care about each other enough to say, please get vaccinated because I love you. I want you to live.
This woman's a joke. She's an embarrassment. That might be the most embarrassing tape ever shot of a sitting governor, even an unelected governor. And the truth is, it has done nothing. Sermons like that have done nothing to improve the condition of New York, not in the city and not upstate. And that's why people are leaving New York by the thousands for Florida and Texas and Tennessee. Why? Because it's too expensive, it's too dirty, and above all, it's too dangerous. People are getting hurt by crime. That includes her political opponent, by the way, Lee Zeldin, whose life intersected with crime earlier this year. Someone attacked him during a campaign event. And earlier this month, a gunman opened fire outside his home on Long Island. Watch this.
A gunman opened fire outside the family's Long Island home.
Grazed here, and then the bullet was found right here.
The congressman and his wife were away campaigning, but his daughters were in the kitchen when they heard gunfire. They hid in the bathroom and called for help. Two 17-year-olds outside were shot and took cover in the front yard. The shooter got away. Police say it was a drive-by shooting, not linked to the Zeldins, except for the random location perilously close to where they live.
Yeah, it wasn't linked to them. It could have been anybody. That's kind of the point. Living in New York now is dangerous. That state needs new leadership, and it looks like it's about to get it. As we told you, Lee Zeldin is running for governor. A new poll today, an independent coefficient survey, shows Zeldin leading the incumbent in the race for the first time. Congressman Lee Zeldin joins us now. Congressman, thank you so much for coming on. It's pretty remarkable, not that we didn't have faith in you as a person, but I mean, it's an overwhelmingly Democratic state, and you're now winning the governor's race. First, congratulations. Second, what do you attribute this to?
I mean, you have a governor who's just not doing a good job. She's unlikable. She's corrupt. She's pandering to criminals. She's pandering to tax and spend liberals. She's advancing woke policies as opposed to just focusing on what is most important to New York voters. If she was tackling rising crime, if she was tackling skyrocketing costs, then this might be a different campaign. But here we are talking about how we need to remove district attorneys when they refuse to enforce the law. We don't have recall elections in New York, but the governor does have the constitutional authority to get rid of a DA who refuses to do their job. We're over here talking about the need to get rid of cashless bail and some of these other pro-criminal laws, and we need to support our men and women in law enforcement who are being hung out to dry, getting the handcuffs thrown on them as opposed to putting the handcuffs on criminals. We have a state ban on the safe extraction of natural gas, and now Kathy Hochul wants to get rid of all gas-powered vehicles here over the course of the next decade. We just had the new CDC guidance come out where they're adding the COVID vaccine into their list, and you have a governor who is talking about as a possible consideration. Her past remarks have indicated that maybe she would mandate that for kids, but we already have it being required on college students, and we have people who are getting fired for their refusal to get the COVID vaccine, like our healthcare workers who used to be hailed as heroes, now treated as zeros. I'm somebody who believes that there should be no COVID vaccine on anyone, whether it's grade school, higher ed, employment, or otherwise, and everyone who should be who was fired should be getting their jobs back with back pay. So the contrast is clear, and even Democrats and independents are saying, you know what, we have to go a new direction in order to save this state. Kathy Hochul has to go, and she will on November 8th.
It sounds like she will. It's just a remarkable story. It kind of comes out of nowhere because, again, it's so overwhelmingly Democratic. It almost seems like she's trying to wreck the state.
Where we are out here campaigning our tails off to earn the support of voters to do our part to save the state, Kathy Hochul right now is crawling across the finish line. She's trying to survive this campaign, and clearly her goal here is to save Kathy Hochul. And the average voter out there in New York hitting their breaking point in the state. Listen, there's a reason why New York leads the entire nation in population loss, Tucker. And I don't even think that Kathy Hochul can finish this sentence that New York leads the entire nation in population loss because. And if you can't finish that sentence, no one's going to ever expect you to actually fix this. And a lot of people pick up on it.
So nicely put. Wow. Congratulations, Congressman Lee Zeldin of New York. Hopefully the next governor. Looks like you will be. Thank you.
Thank you, Tug.